Joe DiChiara. I am a CPA, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, and my purpose in life, my mission, is to help make the complicated, convoluted thing we call businesses simple, and hopefully make it fun and profitable, because that's why we go into business, folks. I don't know about you, but I didn't start my business to break even or to lose money, even though that's what usually happens. The truth is that when businesses start, there's probably around a 98% chance, likelihood that they're going to fail, that business will not survive. And I don't care, what the percentages are that they talk about on the internet. I'm going by my own personal experience and years of research. And what I found, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty interesting. The conclusions that I had to come up with, and they're my story, and I'm sticking with it. Whether you agree with me or not, it's what I believe. It's based on logic, simple math, the laws as they apply today, and how people actually start, run, and wind up failing at business. And some of the things that I'm going to share with you might shock you. You might say, you're a conspiracy theorist, but listen, it is what it is. The facts are the facts. And, if I could just open your eyes to some of the things that are the truth as I believe them, and not only me, but the people that are in my circle of influence, the people that I've surrounded myself with, people that are successful like Larry Broughton and Craig Duswalt, and so many people that I can go down the list and just say, well, if you don't believe me, talk to them, because these are people that I've known for years, and people that have been there, done that, and are still doing it. So let's get to the crux of the problem and what we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight is the third night, the third chapter of where I'm covering my itty bitty S-Corp book, which you could see still says not for resale. This is a proof, which I messed up. I had to make changes, so I'm getting another proof sent. So it will be available soon. And my plan is to distribute it all over the world. I'm going to have it translated for people that do business in the United States, because this is an issue, the S-Corp issue, that I have whittled down so that I could focus on solving the problem, which is the pain and suffering that people go through when they start a business, the shock and the misery that they go through when they get audited, or when they go to a tax preparer and they're hit with an enormous bill that they weren't ready for, or answering the avalanche of correspondence that you get from the government when you do register your business. So the real problem for the vast majority of small business owners is not what they tell you. It's not what you read about as it applies to brand new business owners. And let me explain a little. Companies like Forbes and Inc. and Entrepreneur. They come out and the Harvard Business Review, and everybody and everyone that knows anything about business is going to tell you that the main causes of business failure, and they're right. Things like, poor management, a bad economy, lack of money, lack of capital. Those are valid reasons, and it's true as it applies to established companies that have already broken through that pivotal moment from being a sole proprietor to running an entity. And the entities, the corporations, folks, are the ones that stay in business. So when you hear about these percentages of business failures, you got to remember, out of 30 million businesses out there, 25 million are sole proprietors and 5 million are entities, LLCs, corporations, partnerships. And I don't mean those little partnerships where you get together with your friend and that's just a sole proprietorship with two people. I'm talking about established businesses that have been around for 5 years or more. Those businesses, they fail, they go out of business, and it's for the reasons that they talk about. And I just want to go to the comments thing here. If anybody has a question or a comment, just put it in the chat box and I will answer it, even if it's the replay, because that's why when you put down, hashtag replay, I guess I get notified when there's a comment, and I always go back and respond. Good, bad, and there are no stupid questions. So where was I? The crux of the problem. So if you could see if you know anything about numbers, there's a disproportionate amount of entities that have already gone through the gauntlet, is what I call the sole proprietor gauntlet. And you would think that I already know to shut my phone by now. But, we're still learning, and I am a learner. That's my second in the Clifton Strengths Finder. I am a learner. And that's basically why I do this. I love teaching and I love learning. And the more that I teach, the more that I learn. And so when I started looking at the statistics, one thing caught my eye on the SBA website about the numbers of businesses. And I don't remember if it was it was the SBA. And this term that they called non-employer firms. And what I assumed that meant, in my infinite wisdom, were entities that only had themselves as employees. In other words, they were corporations and they hired themselves. And that's not what non-employer means. That means that they are sole proprietors. So my question was, well, why didn't they just call them sole proprietors? Why call it something else? Which led me to the shocking truth, which is this in a nutshell. And I can give you all the facts, and you can do your own research and compare it to the facts that I'm going to give you about S-Corps. The truth is that it's by design, people. The truth is that the government has purposely, by design, made it almost impossible for somebody to start a small business and become rich. And the reason behind that is fundamental, because every government that has ever existed on this planet, I don't care if it was a democracy, a dictatorship, but their main objective for the people in power, the people with money, is to keep us down, to keep us as uninformed sole proprietors. And how do I know this? Because when I started doing my research, there was nothing, and there basically still is nothing, except coming out of my mouth, about how disastrous it is to be a sole proprietor. There is nothing. What they do say is that it's simple. It's the easiest form of doing business, which is true. But then I thought about what we call the accidental, what I call the accidental entrepreneurs, the people that become business owners without even knowing it. You see, when you're an independent contractor, you are automatically classified as a small business entity. And whatever income you receive on a 1099, you're going to have to report it on your Schedule C on your personal tax return. So automatically, whether you like it or not, you don't have a choice. You are a sole proprietor. And that's part of the reason why we got 25 million sole proprietors, most of which are uninformed and uneducated about what their real options are. And the ones that go out and do try to educate themselves find an ocean of information that is misleading, confusing, complicated. And when you have a confused consumer, what happens? They don't make a decision. They don't make a decision. And that is by design, folks. And that's why I know that this is what I was born to do. And I never knew, why God made me an accountant. How did I become a guy, a business owner that had no intention on being an accountant? If I knew what an accountant actually did when I made the decision, I would have never been an accountant. I probably would have become a lawyer. And the truth is, I probably would have wound up doing the same exact thing as I'm doing now. It would have just come from a different direction. And I believe that, I know that coming from the accounting direction, because of the experience that I've had working with thousands of individuals, going head to head with the IRS on thousands of cases, resolving thousands of tax problems, and being able to identify the causes of the result. The result being businesses that were suffering, businesses and people that were going through a lot of pain, emotional, physical turmoil, because there's no benefit to starting a business and going out of business. There's no benefit to that. So think about all the stress, all of the pain, all of the anxiety that goes along with owning a business. And now what I'm telling you is that the system has been designed to make it hard, to make it tough, to make sole proprietors think that it's okay to be a sole proprietor, because being a corporation, that's too complicated. Why do you want to make something complicated? Coming from a government that has made it virtually impossible for somebody to start a business and actually get rich. And if you want to look at the statistics, folks, in just a broad sense, and don't look at the numbers, just think about this. Out of all the people that you know that started a business, how many of them actually became rich? How many of them actually became really successful? And I'm talking about the becoming millionaires. I mean, if you want to measure richness by material measures, which is what most people use as a benchmark. So think about it if you don't believe me. And so let's get to the actual topic tonight, which is, what are the real benefits of being an S-Corp? And, so chapter 3 starts out with the fact that when you convert from being a sole proprietor for tax purposes to an S-Corp, it comes with tremendous tax benefits, business benefits, and personal benefits. Let's go backwards. And I'm gonna go this off the top of my head. I'm not even gonna go by what's in the chapter. Personal benefits, the stress, the anxiety of finally knowing how you can do business and give yourself a chance to succeed. So I'm not saying that if you become an S-Corp, it's gonna, change your whole life. That's just the start. But once you are aware of how bad it is to be a sole proprietor, and I don't care if you just started out, I don't care if you're losing money, I don't care if you have no revenue. If you're a sole proprietor and you plan on making more than $400 a year in net profit, in other words, if you're a sole proprietor and you're going to make more than $400, that's one benchmark. You should be an S-Corp. If you're starting your business with the intention on making a profit, you need to be an S-Corp. And you start out by being a C-Corp, but that's, I covered that. You start out as being a C-Corp, and depending on your current tax situation, that's when you decide when to elect to be an S-Corp. So once you have this, and I know this because this is what happens with the people that I've worked with, and once you're armed with this information and you know how to protect yourself, the sense of relief will be indescribable. because I can't even describe it. I don't know because I'm not, all I could tell you is that the people that I am working with, that I have been able to provide this information for, are relieved. And once you get rid of that stress, you've just increased your chances of being successful. And that's what this is all about. Business benefits that people don't realize. Sole proprietors get no respect, people. They're the Rodney Dangerfields of business. That's what sole proprietors are. When you go into a bank and you want to get a business loan, you're not getting a business loan. You're getting a personal loan. They may say it's for business, but it's going on your Social Security number, not an entity. It's all based on your personal credit, not business credit. And you get to fill out the regular personal loan. So you're not even recognized really as a business by the bank. If you want to get a business loan and you're an entity, well, you just became a VIP. Because guess what? Banks want to deal with businesses. Most individuals don't have any money. They're just using the checking account and living from week to week. Businesses, I mean, hey, they may bring in $10 million a week and they don't know. But don't tell me they don't get points for opening business accounts, because I know that they do, because I know people that work and have worked at banks. They want business accounts. You can get business credit outside of your personal info. Okay, I have a friend, Pat Wiley. He specializes in this stuff. So those are just a couple of the business benefits. Now let's talk about let's go back to the personal benefits, which are really tax benefits. But they come in under the personal category, because when you become an S-Corp, you've lowered your audit risk by 10,000%. S-Corps simply very rarely get audited. And again, it's because of the business perception. If you're a corporation, you probably have an accountant, you probably know how to keep books and records, you probably have, and if they audit you, they're going to be wasting their time. When they audit sole proprietors usually don't have good books and records, they're not organized, they commingle funds, and it is a party, because the only question is how much are they going to come out with? Because they they want bang for the buck too. They send an auditor out there, somebody to spend time looking at your books. They want money to come out of that. They're not looking for, hey, let's find out who's not cheating. Let's find out who's got, great, and we'll pick them. No, they pick the people based on their own algorithm, and they've had algorithms before Google even existed, where they're going to pick out who they're going to audit. Who are they going to audit first? The people that prepare their own Schedule Cs without any professional guidance. So when you go to an enrolled agent or a CPA, even if you're a sole proprietor, you're less likely to get audited. So if you're one of those sole proprietors that are preparing your own returns, folks, I'll pray for you, because going through an audit is no joke. And I butt heads with a lot of professionals, and I just butted heads with somebody that said, oh, the audit's only a problem if you're not in compliance. Well, if you're listening or watching, or you're one of those people that believe that, I would put money on the fact that you've never handled an IRS tax audit. and if you have, contact me. We'll debate it on the air live. And that's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to go head to head with anyone that does not agree with what I'm talking about here. My information is based on facts, years of research, being in the trenches with my clients. I have no problem saying that I am an expert in this area. So you don't agree with me, you got a different opinion. If you're one of those people that think, oh yeah, it's okay to be an LLC, not realizing that there's no tax benefits attached to an LLC, call me out on it. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not changing my story. This is my story, and I'm sticking with it. And the tax benefits, which basically make the whole issue a non-issue. And let me make something perfectly clear here. What I am talking about, the market that I am addressing here are the 25 million sole proprietors that are single owner entities that have no need for some kind of fancy partnership agreement that you would use it with an LLC. Not talking about that. So if you're one of those LLC people that use that as a benefit, don't even bother. It's not part of the equation. Okay? Again, if you don't agree with me, call me out on it. The tax benefits are these. Number one, I've already covered reducing your audit risk. That's worth something to me. Reduce your audit risk, which is going to reduce your stress. You're not going to have to, be worrying about the IRS coming after you, because now you'll be armed with the fact that the IRS does not audit S-Corps, which means you could be aggressive on your tax returns. Now, it is legal to do tax planning to minimize your taxes. Now, if I have a client, if I ever prepare a return where I have a Schedule C, and I get them now because when clients come to me, they start out as a Schedule C and they're a sole proprietor. I am very, very conservative on the deductions that I'm going to take, like home office deductions. I will not do that on a Schedule C, even though it's 100% deductible. The reason being that is going to increase your audit risk tenfold, because now you're waving a red flag or a white, or whatever it is. You're saying, hey, I'm taking my personal house where I live as a business deduction. Now, S-Corps have a special classification. There's a special way to write off your home office deductions, which don't even show up on the tax return anywhere. They don't show, and it ain't paying yourself rent, folks. Because if you have a tax person that's telling you you could save money by paying yourself rent, okay, I have a little tax tip for you. All you're doing is you're taking it from one category on your tax return and putting it into another category. Because when you earn rent as an individual, you got to pay taxes. You got to claim it. So if you have a professional that's telling you that, fire them. immediately. Okay. Another part of my story that I'm going to stick to. And if you're one of those people that have been telling them that, call me out on it. I encourage you, because I want to get this out there, folks. I am sick and tired of hearing people tell me that their financial advisor or their lawyers that have no experience in tax law, in preparing tax returns, call me out on it. And I love lawyers. My friend Elizabeth here is an attorney. My son is an attorney. I have no problem. Listen, I respect you. Like I said, if I wasn't a CPA, I probably would have been an attorney. But the fact is that most attorneys are protectors, and LLCs give the legal protection, but they don't give any tax benefits. And I have lawyers coming to me as clients that are LLCs, but they never did an election to be taxed as an S-Corp. So, if you're one of these advisors, let's get together. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's put the facts on the table. Let's take real case scenarios with facts. Not, oh, what if this happens? Let's take a real sole proprietor with any level of income or losses, and we'll see which is more beneficial, being an S-Corp or being a sole proprietor. And that is going to be my gift to you and to the world, because my mission, folks, is to take the 25 million sole proprietors out there and turn at least 22,500,000 of them, hopefully more, not less, into S-Corps. And I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I do know that the people that I'm telling to call me out are the people that are going to probably help me the most. So that's my story again. I'm sticking with it. And I want to leave you with this. Join my mastermind group. And where are my banners? It's Mastermind with Joe DiChiara, because I just found out today one of our members that just joined, B, and if you're following me, B, hello. She joined because I say it's my story and I'm sticking with it. So I'm going to keep sticking with it, especially knowing now that it actually brought somebody into my mastermind group. We meet every Saturday at 2 p.m. It's unbelievable. My VA, Elizabeth, does an unbelievable job in bringing everybody together, creating links, following up with people. And it's free right now. It may not be forever. And I invite you now to join. If you join now, it'll be free forever. So that's my offer, and I'm sticking with that. God bless you. I hope you got something from this broadcast, and I will see you tomorrow for another training. Thank you.